All right, everybody, we're back. We're going to go ahead and start this corporate training. So guys, we just went over the opportunity presentation. So if you stayed with us after watching the opportunity presentation, I think it's fair to say that you're interested in taking a look kind of behind the scenes to see how you can build this business. And I just want to say that you're going to learn from two individuals, myself and Jen. Jen's ranked number 2 in the industry for network marketing. Go to businessforhome.org. Look at the top income earners in this industry, and you will see Jenna listed as number 2. I've been in the industry for 10 years. I've built organizations of tens of thousands of people around the world. And we're so excited to teach you guys exactly how we build this business, what we know, so that you can take that information, apply it to your business, and go out and run with it. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started into the first couple of slides. So corporate training. Okay, so when you become a My Daily Choice affiliate, the first thing you want to do is log into your back office at www.mydailychoice.com/login. When you enrolled as an affiliate, you were able to select a username and a password. So when you select your username and password, that's going to be what you use to log in. Now, when you log in, as you can see in this little screenshot on this slide, you're going to have a left-hand tab navigation, and the 5th one down says training. If you click on training, there's 31 training videos in our back office. There's a video on the Josh and Jenna story. So you can actually see the whole story of the company. There's an office tour video. There's an intro to navigating your back office. There's best practices. There's training from a legendary trainer, Todd Falcone. Jen also did an Escape Your Matrix training where every single week for 13 weeks, she interviewed a top leader in the business. Some of those leaders are doing, $50,000 a month in volume in their group. Some are doing millions a month in volume in their group. And she interviewed them on a new topic every week. There's also training on how to generate leads and how to generate traffic to your marketing pages as well. So we have both traffic resources and lead resources in the back office. So that's one of the first things you're going to want to do is go to the training section, watch all of the training videos. It'll take you probably a couple of hours to get through all of it. You may have to break it up into a couple of days, but it'll be well worth it. And you will be equipped with so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so many gold nuggets that you can use in your business. Okay, using the marketing system. So I want to just break down the 3 different types of people that you're going to encounter after an opportunity presentation and where to send them. Because I'm a big believer in using the tools. My mentor taught me, Josh, you want to be the messenger, you don't want to be the message. And half the battle is directing people to where they should go to get information instead of you having to sell, convince, or pressure people to get started. So there's 3 different types of people that you're going to encounter. And we just did the opportunity presentation, so you may be one of these 3 people. The first type of person is skeptical. They don't really understand the business opportunity quite yet. They like the idea of the products, but they're just unsure. They're skeptical. They're not sure if this is going to work. And for those type of people, you want to send them into the sample funnel. Okay, the sample funnel lets people try the products out for $11.95. $11.95, they can get product shipped to their doorstep. It comes in a little sample package where there's 2 of the oils and 1 of each of the HempWorks topicals. And that website is www.hempworkssamples.com/username. So you can use that URL. And once again, username is the username that you select during enrollment. So when you become a My Daily Choice affiliate, you have a HempWorks sample website that's attached to you. So for the skeptical people, you're going to send them into the sample pack funnel. Now, the next type of person is somebody that's ready to become a customer. These are people that after seeing the presentation, they have fallen in love with taking the products or, wanting to try the products out. They're ready to become a customer right away. So for those types of people, you're going to send them into your HempWorks replicated customer website. So that website is hempworks.com/, your username. The next type of person is somebody that's ready to build a business. So they like the products, they like the business, they want to learn more, they're ready to get educated, they want a full tour from A to Z on how this business works, how the products work. And for those types of people, you're going to send them into one of your pre-enrollee capture pages. When you send somebody into a capture page, you're capturing their information, you're getting them into the system as a pre-enrollee, and then they're going to come to our tour page where they're going to see this very exact video that's going to train them on the opportunity and train them on how to build the business. So your prospects will be fully educated when you send them into your pre-enrollee capture pages. That also activates all of the autoresponders to go out. That's going to educate them on CBD. It's going to remind them to get started. It's going to talk to them a little bit about the products, what's happening, the exciting growth, exciting announcements. So all of that happens when you send people into the pre-enrollee capture pages. Once again, we offer 16 of these websites and marketing pages at no additional cost. This is 100% free. And let me just tell you, if you tried to replicate this in a different company or different business opportunity, it would cost you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to put a system of this type together. So we give you this full marketing suite for free. You don't even have to have your own, domain names or URLs. All you need to do is use the usernames and the URLs that we provide to you, and all of those can be found in your back office. So that's how you separate and segment the different types of people that you're going to run into. Okay, auto ships. Auto ships is a convenient way to have your product automatically shipped to you each month without placing a manual order. So there's a couple reasons why you would want to be on an auto ship. Number one, you want product to develop your story. Stories sell and facts tell. So you don't want to be that person that's always walking around just vomiting on people verbally. That's not how you build a business. You want product to develop your story. So you use the product, you create this amazing experience and story, and then that is the story that you share with your prospects. You also want products so that you can share, sample, and sell those products to others. So some of the product you're going to use for personal consumption, and then some of it you can share and sell to others. Could be friends, family, prospects, people at work, people that you know. Those would be the individuals that you would give your extra product to. So as an example, like a director pack auto ship is 4 bottles. So you may use 1 bottle for yourself personally. You may give 1 to someone in your family. You may give 1 to your best friend, and then you may have another one on hand just in case you run into a prospect. Another thing that's important is your people will follow what you do. So network marketing is a lot about building a team of affiliates. You're kind of like building an army, an army of people that are out there sharing, sampling, selling products, all of that business volume, everybody gets to share in. It's kind of a transfer wealth model. So your people are going to follow what you do. If you're not on AutoShip, your people are not going to be on AutoShip. AutoShip also helps you with personal volume qualification. So you'll never miss out on a personal volume qualification, which helps you maximize your earnings in the compensation plan. So you definitely want to be on an AutoShip for that. And then the last thing that's important is out of product equals out of business. I can't tell you how many people that I've seen where somebody comes up to them and they say, hey, I want to try this product. And they say, my AutoShip hasn't come in yet, or I'm out of product. You never want to say to somebody, I am out of product, because once again, remember, this is a business. Even though it doesn't cost a lot of money to get started, it's still a business, and people will find a new affiliate to join with if you don't have product, but somebody else does. So you definitely want to be on AutoShip. And to do that, you can go into the settings of your My Daily Choice back office. You can click on AutoShip and you can see all of the different options to place your AutoShip. And to maximize this compensation plan, you should generate a minimum of 90 BV in personal volume each month. Become binary qualified. So one of the parts of our compensation plan that's very lucrative is our binary. Binary by definition means 2. So you have 2 teams, a left team and a right team. So if you look at this little graphic here, The person at the top, that's you. Let's just say it's you Inc. or you LLC. That's your business, your position. So you need either 40 or 90 in BV, in personal volume. So that comes from getting retail customers or from personal purchases. So 40 or 90. And then you need one person on your left team that has 90 BV and one person on your right team that has 90 BV. Now, let's say you have one on your left team that's got 40. You can still get another person on your left leg that has 50 to equal 90. So it doesn't have to be one person at 90 and one person at 90 on both the left and right team. It can be a combination of people. So you could have on your left team, you could have one at 40, one at 50. On your right team, you could have one at 20, one at 60, one at 10. As long as it's a combination of 90 BV and personally enrolled volume. And then you need a minimum of 300 BV in group volume in your lesser leg. Group volume could be spillover from your upline. As long as you have 300 BV in your lesser leg, you become binary qualified. Now, if you look at the right side of this slide, you'll see that PV in your personal stats. You'll find this in your dashboard in your back office. PV is your personal volume. You'll want that to say either 90 or 100. Active will be a green check mark. So if you have PV by default, you have a green check mark. And then you'll want to see a green check mark for binary qualified, and then it'll show you what your rank is. You can click on the view settings button to make sure that your business is optimized for success. Set your rotator. So the way that you allocate which people are going to go to your left team or your right team is through the rotator in your back office. There's 3 settings: alternate, left leg, and right leg. Left leg obviously means that everybody you enroll is going to go down your left side. Right leg means that everybody you enroll is going to go down your right side. Alternate means one left, one right, one left, one right, and so on and so on and so on. So my personal recommendation, this is not mandated or anything like that. My recommendation is to set it to alternate, because I believe that the secret to building a strong binary is building both legs. So you build your left team, your right team. So if you found 4 people, 4 of your friends, family, coworkers, whoever, 4 people that you want to enroll into the business under you as affiliates, 2 of them could go on your left team and 2 of them could go on your right team. And then what you want to do with your team, your 4, is to teach them to go out and find 4 and do the same thing. And if you do that, you start to build a perfect binary. Just as an example, the power of 4. If you enrolled 4 and then those 4 enrolled 4 and so on, and you duplicated that through 10 levels, you'd have over 1 million people in your organization. So I'll just read this quote here real quick. Keep it simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to know thousands of people personally. The best network marketers know how to duplicate. 3 feet from gold. This is my last slide, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jen. Great quote from Napoleon Hill: when defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. So guys, listen, this is a business, and you're always one person away from making it big in this industry. The challenge is that most people quit. Most people look at this as a 30 to 60 to 90 day deal. I'm going to try it out for 30 to 60 days. And if it doesn't work, I'm out. That's not how you build a business. In fact, if you spent $1 million on a franchise and then you told the franchise that, hey, I'm going to try it out for a couple months, and if it doesn't work, I'm gone, they'd laugh at you. They wouldn't even accept your money for you to get started. So all I would say, my biggest piece of advice to you would be, do not quit this business. It's not going to be easy, but don't give up when it gets hard. Let your fears, your obstacles, your setbacks, let all those things fuel your fire to win big in this business. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Jen to talk a little bit about compliance.
So compliance is so important, and the importance of this is protecting the house. It protects the company, and it's here to protect our affiliates, customers, and the general public. We want to stay in business for a long time. So right away, product disclaimers. Now, you may have an amazing testimonial that you want to share with the world, and you may be tempted to use a disease name or a drug name. Hey, I'm not on this drug anymore. Or, hey, it cured, like this example says, it cured my insomnia from using hempworks CBD oil. Those are not permitted for us to use. We're not allowed to use that language because CBD is a dietary supplement. It's not a drug. If it were a drug and it was sold through pharmacies, through the doctor's office, then we could maybe say those kinds of things. But because it's not, we're not allowed to, we're not permitted to. So when you make your product disclaimer, or when you make your product testimony, I should say, it's important to use this product disclaimer on every post, whether it's on social media or whether it's in your messenger or whatever it may be. You need to use the disclaimer when you're making your product testimonials, even if they're completely compliant. Now, a compliant way of saying, I cured my insomnia from using hempworks CBD oil would be, after taking hempworks CBD oil, I've been sleeping restfully through the night. Here are some examples of what is approved and what's not approved, or what's not approved and what is approved. We're not allowed to use words like cancer, inflammation, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, diabetes, arthritis, and so on. Avoid all disease names. Another way of saying it, which is compliant, would be improves overall health, helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels, promotes healthy digestion. Make sure that when you're telling your story, you're not using any medical claims.
Now, let me just say one thing here. This is very important to understand. Some of you on this webinar may be experiencing some of the diseases on the left-hand side of this slide, but even though it could be a true story for you, there is a non-compliant way to share your testimony and a compliant way. And on the right-hand side of this slide, these are the compliant words that you can use when sharing your story about what these CBD products are doing for you. And one more thing that I'll say, when you're an affiliate and you're building this business and people come to you and they say, hey, is CBD going to work for this? Is it going to work for that? Or I have this, I'm experiencing this. Can it do this? One of the best strategies you can use is to tell people to Google it and do their own research and to come back to you when they're ready to purchase some of the highest quality CBD oil out in the marketplace.
Now, when it comes to making money in this business, some of us have had amazing testimonies in the compensation plan, especially because we pay out 85%. But we're not allowed to say things that guarantee income. We cannot say make $1 million guaranteed by tomorrow. A better way of saying that would be, because I introduced these products to my friends and family, I've been able to earn $1,000 this month. Now, anytime you make any income claims, whether this be just sharing your back office screenshots on social media, on Facebook, whatever it may be, you have to use the income disclaimer on every post as well. Now, we have this nice thing that we've put together called the income disclosure statement, or the IDS, which gives you real facts on what people are making in this industry. Now, of course, we did this in 2018. 2019 hasn't ended yet, but when it does, we'll have an even more updated one. Probably the figures will be even crazier. However, when you're posting your income on the internet or sharing with others, it's important to use these tools when sharing your income claims.
A couple other things I'll mention is, if you look at this slide, this will show you the total number of people at each rank, the monthly averages, annual averages earned at each rank, how much time it took to get to each rank, and the percentage of distributors and affiliates in the company that have achieved each rank. So this is a compliant and legal tool that you can use when sharing screenshots of your checks or posting about the results through the compensation plan. So it is a must that you use these tools when talking about income, or you will get an email from our compliance department.
Now, we just recently launched this style guide for marketing using the Hempworks brand. So now Hempworks has a style guide where it shows you which fonts that you can use when you're making your flyers or marketing materials, what logos you can use, and that sort of thing. This guide has been uploaded into the back office under resources. It's also on the My Daily Choice group. It's also in the Hempworks marketing group on Facebook as well. So be sure you run through this before you start making flyers and your own marketing materials and your own t-shirts and that kinds of thing. We're okay if you do that. We just want to make sure that it's approved and compliant before it goes out to the mass public. So when you do make these things, make sure you follow this guide. And secondly, send an email to compliance@mydailychoice.com to get that approval. They'll email you back and say, hey, this looks great. We just need to tweak a few things, or yes, it's approved, or no, it's not approved. Go through the compliance department when creating your marketing materials. That way you are 100% in compliance at all times. Now, this is where my training comes in. So I'm super excited and fired up to share this with you guys. But the 6 core principles of network marketing. So just real briefly, all about network marketing right here. If you can learn these 6 things, you're on to a great start in your network marketing professional journey. Network marketing is all about relationships. It's all about becoming a leader. Now, sometimes that freaks people out because they're like, wait a minute, I just want to refer some friends and make some money. I don't know about being a leader. But the people that are making serious waves in the industry and in our company, they've developed themselves as leaders and have taken on a bigger leadership role. So that is a goal in this industry for sure. Third, you want to build a list. Now, this may seem like we've heard this time and time again, but really the money is in the list, and we're going to actually talk about that more in depth on the next few slides. Next, of course, you want to increase your value. The more value you give out to people, the more income that you can make. You want to expose the business daily. If you're not exposing the business to anybody on a daily basis, you're going to have a hard time growing your network marketing business. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And lastly, you want to be a problem solver. The person that solves the most problems for people is the person that wins the biggest in this industry. The 4 C's: clarity, conviction, commitment, and consistency. So clarity, you want to decide what you want to accomplish and who you want to become. This is important because a lot of us, when we're confronted with, hey, what are your goals and your dreams? We become speechless somehow. We don't know what to say. But as soon as I ask somebody, hey, what's your fears and your weaknesses? This is already at the forefront of their mind. They can tell you right away what their fears and their weaknesses. Why I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid that this business isn't going to work. I'm afraid of spiders or scorpions or whatever it may be. But as soon as we say, hey, what are your dreams and your goals? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? What's your dream vision? What are you seeing in your future? And people become speechless. And they're like, well, I don't know. I got to think about it. So it's important to spend some time and really map out the vision for your future, because if you don't, you're not going to know exactly where you're going. You know where you're starting, but you have no destination in mind. So clarity is the number one thing that we need to focus on when we're starting out a business and becoming entrepreneurs for the first time. The second C is conviction. Develop unshakable belief that you can do it. Now, when I started HempWorks, I'm going to be honest with you, I had a lot of doubters, a lot of naysayers, including Josh. I'm just going to be honest. I told him, hey, this stuff has changed my life, and I don't even care if you do this with me or not. I have to get this product out to the masses because of what it's done for me. I had conviction that I had to get these products out to people, and I didn't care if anybody doubted me or not. I had an unshakable belief that I could do it. Now, when you are focusing on your own goals and your dreams and your mission for your life, you got to have that force that's going to bring you through all the hard times, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a roller coaster. There's good times, bad times, easy times, hard times. Even when the money starts rolling in, new levels bring new devils. We've heard that before. So without a conviction and a belief in yourself that you can do this, you're going to have a hard time succeeding. So how you develop this is through training your mind, which I'm going to talk about in the next few slides. The third C is commitment. Develop the willingness to pay the price. So like Josh said, it's not a 30 to 60 day plan. It's not a 90-day plan. You have to be willing to pay the price. Now, for me, I had to fail forward in order to succeed in this industry. I had to fail through multiple companies before I aligned with Josh and My Daily Choice, and then, of course, HempWorks as it came on. But I had to pay the price. You guys, in 2015, I filed for bankruptcy. I had the hardest times in my life, but I did not care because I knew where my vision was. I knew where my destination was. I was willing to pay the price to get there. So that's commitment. You have to commit to your goals. You have to commit to your future that you're creating. The fourth C is consistency. You got to resolve to work on your goals every day and every night until they're accomplished. Stay consistent in your money-making activities. So if you are putting the work in like it's a business, you're going to get to see results eventually. If you're only doing this like a hobby or sometimes or when you feel like it or when it's convenient, then you're going to have a hard time succeeding. But if you are consistent, you're committed, you have conviction, and you know sure as well where you're going to go, you have clarity of your vision, you will succeed in this industry. Now let's talk about social media and marketing. This is probably the biggest thing people ask me. Can you teach us how you do social media? What is marketing to begin with? So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. Let's start from the beginning here. What is marketing? Well, marketing is all about just connecting audiences to products, services, or opportunities. I think a lot of times we try to confuse this and we get complicated with what marketing and social media is. Some of us never had any social media background before. Maybe this is the first time you've ever spent on Facebook, or maybe you're a Facebook veteran, but you don't know how to make this a money-making tool for you. So we're going to talk about that. My first thing I want to bring up is, who are you and what is your message? So as you can see, this screenshot, this is my profile. You see this intro section right here. I'm telling you right here what I am and what I'm all about, who I am and what my message is. I tell you right there, founder of Hempwork, CMO, human rights, free speech, pro-cannabis. These are the things that are near and dear to my heart. This is my mission. And if you come visit my page, it is a good chance that you're going to get one of these topics that I'm going to be posting on. Now, why do I say that? Because I'm a big believer in not just changing who you are necessarily, not trying to fit in with how you think you're supposed to be, but defining who you are and then matching the audience that already matches that. So I challenge you to find the top 3 to 5 topics that really define you. Are you a basket weaver? Are you a horseback rider? Are you a scuba diver? What are the things that are passionate for you in your life? Now, what you're going to want to do is join those groups on Facebook or join those meetup groups in real life, right? And start connecting with people that already have those things in common. You want to be looking for people that are like-minded. You don't want to go after people that are completely opposite that you would hate to be around. Because imagine all these people you hate to be around are now on your team, and now you got to go on a leadership retreat with them. Who are the people you want to be on vacation with? Who are the people you want to see rise to the top? That's why targeting your market is so important, and it starts with defining who you are and figuring out what your message is going to be. My next point is, who is your audience? Let's talk about target marketing. Now, people say to me, how come when you post something, Jenna, on your page, you get 500 likes? I post the same thing and I get 4 likes. Why is the difference? How come I can post the same message and get a different result? Well, here, I'm going to explain it to you. Now, what happens when you sign up for Instagram or Twitter for the first time? They ask you, what are your interests? Do you want to follow ESPN News? Do you want to follow CNN? Do you want to follow Donald Trump, right? All these things start coming up on your feed, and then you get to choose who you're going to follow. And they're basically tailoring your interest on Twitter or in Instagram so that you have a better experience, so that you're getting to see the things that you actually want to see. What happens when you sign up for Facebook for the first time? They don't ask you any questions. The only question they ask you is, do you want to sync your contacts in your phone to your Facebook page? And the reason is Facebook's whole thing is, well, we want you to connect with your real friends. Well, that's challenging when it comes to marketing using Facebook, because what happens when you sync the contacts in your cell phone to Facebook? Well, now you got your 3rd grade teacher. Now you got your volleyball coach or your son's volleyball coach or whatever. You've got your ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago. You haven't deleted his number yet. Now you've got, all walks of life, all different categories of people. You have a completely mixed audience. So now you got 300 people right off the bat, and you don't know what the heck they even want to follow. So when you post something, you might not get good engagement because your friends are all mixed up. So it's important to really define who your audience is. Who are you talking to when you're posting on your Facebook page? Now, what do your social media pages say about you? Let's talk about branding. What's your images and the association of that brand? When you think about Coca-Cola, what do you think? I think about a red can that has soda in it that may not be that great for you. That's my opinion. I think about the polar bear when it's around Christmas time. What do you think of when you think of Nike? You think just do it, right? You think of maybe Tiger Woods, or you think of basketball players or sports. What do you think of when you think of iPhone or Apple, you think about very clean design and very simplistic kind of, well, I do because I'm in the marketing department. I think about what their designs are. Each brand has an association. You've built in your mind an opinion about the brand based on what you've seen about it, right? When you become an entrepreneur for the first time, you become a brand. Jenna's Wago is now a brand, right? So what do you think of when you think of my name? What do you think of when you think of your own name? This is the point I'm trying to get to. Maybe you don't know who I am, and that's fine. I'm not as big as Coca-Cola or Nike. But now, Susie Williams, or I'm just using an example of somebody maybe in the audience, I don't know. But now, whatever Susie is posting, that's now her brand. So she's now, okay, I used to have a job and now I'm a HempWorks affiliate. Here's my brand. I'm going to start posting all over the internet, posting all over Facebook. What is your brand saying about you? What kind of image are you portraying about you? Because after people start to see your name a few times, they begin to build an association of what you're going to post and what you're going to be all about. Now, if you're the kind of person that has that one negative friend in your newsfeed, we all have that one friend, right? I know we do. And that one friend's always posting about their health problems or their drama with their boyfriend, or they always got something negative going on, right? Okay, that's their brand, whether they're in business or not. They're associating themselves with those kind of posts. And it's important to know that once you become a network marketer, anything that you put out there is now a reflection of who you are and what your brand says about you. Now, some of you are like, no, I don't have that negative friend. Well, maybe you're the friend that's the negative one on Facebook. And it's important to not be that negative friend if you're trying to make money in this business, because you want to be the positive one, the passionate one, the one that's excited about life, because that's going to attract more people to you than the alternative. Lastly, are you giving what you expect to get? So it's not so much what you're posting, it's what you're giving in the comments and in the messages, and what kind of content are you sharing? The law of reciprocity. Okay, this is attraction marketing. Now, I read an article a while ago that said it takes a stranger 21 times to see your name before they start remembering your posts. When I was getting started on Facebook in 2014, I had no friends at all because I deleted my page because I realized I just had only friends and family from my past on there. I deleted my page, started a new one. And when I first started getting started, I would post something and I would get 2 likes, right? So I decided that I was going to spend most of my time trying to connect to other people in comments. So I would follow industry leaders that were either trainers or top network marketers, and I would follow them and I would connect with their audience because I figured their audience would be very similar to the audience I was trying to build. So you guys can figure out what those leaders are for you and who you want to follow. But I started following people like that, and I connected with their people in the comments. And I did this thing where I always used a meme or a photo or a sticker or something in the comments because I wanted I wanted my name to stand out of the list of comments that were on there. And that eventually built up my page to the point where now I've got over 16,000 followers a few years later. Now, what is the quality of your post? Now, you don't want to be a HempWorks spamaholic, okay? We've seen this before. And in fact, Facebook starts to censor you a little bit if you only post on your business every single time. I post about HempWorks regularly, but not every single post, because people will tune you out like the banner ad if you're 100% business posting. If every single post is business, people are going to start tuning it out. You want to divide these up by business, personal, your personal life. Yes, we want to know about your personal life. Maybe not to the extent of I got in a car accident and my life sucks and whatever you want to negative. I don't mean like that. Share the good things about your life, the things you're excited about, okay? You want to post your passion. This is what gets you fired up every single day. Maybe now you started a brand new business in My Daily Choice and you're ready to share it with the world. Okay, show us how it's changing your life on a personal level. Be transparent. People can connect with people who are vulnerable. We don't connect with people that are all sales and hypey. And lastly, your pain. And I'm not talking about the pain of, your hernia or your gingivitis or whatever kind of issues you're having in your life. I don't want to know about that pain. I want to know where you came from. I want to know your rags to riches story. People connect to stories. Tell your story in a way that other people can relate to. This is where I started and this is where I'm heading, or this is where I started and this is where I am now. So the quality of your posts do matter when it comes to network marketing and social media. The next topic is your list. Okay, I said your money's in the list, right? Well, your list needs dialysis. You need new blood in there every week, and you need to get rid of the old blood every week. So if you are not on top of your list, if you're not visiting your friends list, okay, on a weekly basis, and disconnecting from people that are no longer relevant to you and reconnecting with people that are relevant to either your life or your business, then you're not actually growing your list. And if your page is set to just friends only, then you're basically just preaching to the same 200 or 300 people or however many friends you have every single time you post. You want to set your page to public so that when you post, it's not just your friends seeing your post, but your friends' friends are seeing your post, and it allows your page to go more viral and reach a wider audience. If you were to sell your list, this is a great exercise in target marketing to get you to think differently about your list. But if you were to sell your list, what would it be worth and to who? Now, this is important because if you've got a mixed audience, you're not going to be able to sell your list. Now, if you have an audience of all surfers, right? 100% surfers, then you can sell your list to a surfboard shop owner that maybe want to buy that so that they can market to those people, and they're going to have relevant content coming through their feed. How much would it be worth? Well, let's see, how many people do you have on that list? If you got 100,000 names on that list and you launch a surfboard product tomorrow, well, that list is going to be worth a lot to that owner who buys it, right? What's it worth to you? Money's in the list, right? So if you've got all cannabis, CBD, network marketers as friends, that's a really great place to be because you're in the cannabis industry now. Or if you're selling sprays, then you're looking for people that are in health and wellness or maybe serious about their health, right? So lastly, you want to focus on the relationship, okay? You cannot take withdrawals without putting deposits. You can't go to the bank and say, I want to take $1 million out if you never put any money in the bank. They're going to look at you funny. Well, it's the same way when you become a network marketer and now you're like, oh man, I need to get some prospects. Let me go look at my friends list. And you're like, well, I haven't called Jamie in a while. Let me call her and pitch her on this deal. I don't advise that. I say focus on the relationship first. Ask her to go to coffee with you first. Find out what's happening in her life. Reconnect that relationship. Make it a genuine relationship. And then when the time comes where they say, hey, but what are you up to? Because if, law of reciprocity says that if you ask somebody how they are, they're going to ask you how you are. You ask them what they're doing for a living now, they're going to ask you what you're doing for a living now, and so on. And ignore my dogs. They're going crazy. They need some CBD. But you cannot take withdrawals. You cannot ask that person to sign up in your business if you haven't put deposits in that relationship first. Becoming fearless. Now, if you guys have attended a roadshow event, you will see this video that we play live of Will Smith, and he's talking about skydiving. So I'm not going to play that just to keep things short here, but if you want to Google it after this webinar, you can just search Will Smith skydiving video and you get the point. But the whole point of this video is basically he's talking about how anxious and fearful he was leading up to the time where he literally jumped out of a plane. Okay, he was freaking out the night before. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. All his friends are pumped and ready to go, but he's like, nah, I'm not that excited about this. This is actually terrifying. And then he gets on the plane and it's time for him to jump out of the plane. He counts to 3, right? 1, 2, he gets pushed out of the plane on 2, he said, because on number 3, when they get to 3, people just freeze up and they don't jump. So they push him out on 2. And he said he's flying through the air now, literally flying, right? And in the midst of all of that, where he should be at the most maximum fear, he has the most peace in his life. And he's feeling like fearless. He's completely fearless, flying through the air. He's like, wow, like I conquered it. I did it. This is amazing. I get to see all these things that are happening on the way down. And of course he remembers to use his parachute and all that. But my point is, fear is pointless. The best stuff in life is on the other side of fear. He was saying how he wasted his day the day before. He wasted his breakfast the night, the day before. He wasted his sleep the night before because he was so afraid. And some of us are afraid to do this business opportunity because we have a fear of success. And this is a real thing that people actually go through. And a fear of success is nothing more than a feeling of unworthiness. And unworthiness is learned, but so is self-confidence. Nobody is born feeling unworthy. You learn that. You learn that from people. You learn that from your family, your friends, from your teachers, your doctors. You learn that from the people that are around you in your circle of influence. We learn that money doesn't grow on trees. We learn, yeah, right, you're not going to be like that when you grow up. You better get a regular job. We learned that business is too hard to even attempt, so you best just get a job. We learned that go to school, get good grades, and pass all your tests and do all your homework and sit in that chair for 8 hours, get your college degree, and then get a job and waste the rest of your life trying to save up money so that someday you can retire and live your retirement, which is those small part of your life where you get some freedom. That's a fear of success. That's, for me, that was a fear of my success. You guys, I went through this myself. I was a single mom. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to put food on the table. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to provide any presents for my children at Christmas time. I was afraid that my credit cards were going to max out every time I swiped them at the store, just buying regular stuff to stay alive. I had a fear of failure. And I also had a fear of success. And when I finally came to that realization in my life, I realized I was wasting so much time on this illusion, because all fear is an illusion. And I was wasting so much time just contemplating what could go wrong instead of what could go right. Now, I challenge you to let go of that fear, because at the end of the day, fear is nothing more than an illusion of your past. It's just a perception of some past experiences. And if you have the commitment within yourself to change that mindset, you can absolutely change that mindset. You can become more self-confident. You can become a big believer in your success. You can become a believer for yourself and in your life, and set the example, not for yourself alone, but for your children, your children's children, and you can break that cycle. So I challenge you to break the pattern of being broke. And broke is a mindset more than it is a reality. Most people weren't taught to succeed. It wasn't in their awareness. You see these families, these dynasties, and they have money, right? And then their family below them has money. Their children have money, and it carries on generation after generation. And why is that? Probably, I suspect that their conversations at dinner were different than the ones you and I had growing up. Because I grew up in a house that was realistic, right? I'm just being realistic. Well, that was a pattern. That was something that my parents learned from their parents, and so on and so on. And I had to decide to break that cycle so that I could do something different for my family. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what I challenge you guys to do as well. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. You cannot have a positive and a negative thought at the same time. Andre Popa said that on stage at our last HempWorks event, and that really made a lot of sense to me. You can't have a positive and a negative thought at the same time. If you're having a negative thought, then you are pushing out the positivity in your life. If you're having a positive thought, you're pushing the negativity out of your life. Les Brown, too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears, right? Your words are your magic spells. The universe has no bias. It doesn't care if it's delivering something great or if it's delivering something horrible. It's all because of the center of your attraction, the law of vibration. You know you're vibrating high when things are positive. You're happy, you're excited, you're passionate, you're fired up every single day when you wake up because you get to build this business, and you know you're going to retire your family someday, and you're going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. When you're feeling like a high vibration, you know that the things in your vision and your mindset, your dreams are already on the way. If you're vibrating low, you're going to feel bad. If you're going to feel negative, you're going to focus on your physical ailments every day. You're going to have excuses for everything. You know, I'm going to get to it someday when things get easier, or maybe after I retire, or after I finish this, and you're full of excuses. So your words is the magic behind what you're attracting. And if you treat it like that, you're going to notice a big shift in your life, because what you're speaking is what you're attracting. So I challenge you to be aware of the thoughts that are not only in your head, but the words that are coming out of your mouth. What you give, you get. This is the law of karma. This was a hard one for me. I didn't realize how selfish I was of a person before I learned to personally develop myself. I didn't realize how much I was focusing on myself and how I was going to provide and how I was going to change my life and so on. I didn't realize that until I started taking the focus off of me and I started putting it on other people. I got to the point where I didn't even care if I made a dime or not. I was happy regardless. All I wanted was to help people and get them to be successful, because that feeling of giving outweighed the feeling of receiving. You know, when you become a parent and, you know, when you're a child, it's all about getting gifts, right? When you're Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever the holidays are, you're excited about getting the presents. As you grow up and you mature, it's all about giving the presents. You want to give because it makes that's worth it for you. If you can treat that feeling the way you treat Christmas morning or Hanukkah, whatever, the same, if you can do that in your life where it means more to you to give than it is to get, you know you're in the flow. And the law of karma is going to deliver to you exactly what you're putting out. I personally tip people way more than most people tip. And I did that before I even had the money. And that's because I wanted to get comfortable with giving away. I wanted to give that away because I wanted to see the magic of the receiving end as well. And I wanted to see the light that it brought to other people's lives. Now, every situation, now some of you are going to argue with me on this, and that's okay. I'm going to challenge you to think differently today. That's the purpose of this training. Every situation is a positive situation if viewed as an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. Now, some of you are like, well, no, getting in a car accident wasn't a positive situation, or my boyfriend breaking up with me was not a positive situation, or losing my house was not a positive situation. But maybe if you view that as an opportunity for growth and self-mastery, maybe if you look at it as a lesson, as something you need to learn so that you can graduate to the next level of your life, when you start treating things like that, then magic starts to happen in your life. You know, you've heard the phrase, is the glass half empty or is it half full? And that's because there's two ways to look at every single situation. And it doesn't matter how severe the situation is. You have the opportunity to look at it through your scope and your perception. You have a choice. You get to choose how you're going to look at that situation. And every opportunity that comes to you, every situation that comes to you is a purpose in your life so that you can use that for self-mastery. I stopped using the negative things in my life as an excuse, and I used them as a fuel to fuel my fire. I used them as an opportunity to grow myself, because I knew if I could master this thing that's happening in my life, I could get to the next level. And if I could get to the next level, I could coach somebody else on where they're at because I just been through it myself. Lastly, what you put in your mind, you manifest in reality. This is a commitment to personal development. Some of us put Netflix on repeat. We binge watch TV, we watch the news, we watch sports, and we're putting all these things in our mind. And what we're manifesting is a reflection of the things that we're putting in our mind. I challenge you to change the things that you're putting in your mind. I'm not saying swear off Netflix forever. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you wake up in the morning, make it a commitment to develop yourself first. Put the armor on first, because you're going to need it, because this business is going to challenge you. This business is going to put your emotions to the test, because it's not all butterfly and rainbows. And we've heard that, right? But what you put in your mind. So I use this app called ThinkUp, because when I was starting out in my journey, I was not confident as a person. I was very skeptical of my own abilities. So I had to train myself to think differently. I had to put positive information in my brain so that I could put it out there to the rest of the world, so that I could manifest it into reality. So committing to your own personal growth is essential in this business, because as you grow yourself, you're going on a journey, and people are going to begin to witness the changes that you're making in your life, and that's going to attract them to you faster than any Facebook post ever will. So I'm going to end this training with that, and we're going to talk about one last thing before we wrap up this webinar, and that is convention.
So a couple things we're going to just quickly cover. Before I talk about the convention, I want to share with you guys a little bit about our HempWorks Roadshow. So if you are in one of these states, you're going to want to go to www.hempworksevents.com. So on Saturday, March 16th, we're going to Phoenix, Arizona. On April 6th, we're going to Wichita, Kansas. On April 13th, we're going to Dallas, Texas. On April 20th, we're going to Houston. Then we're going to New Orleans, Atlanta, St. Louis, and Nashville, Tennessee. So go to hempworksevents.com, grab a ticket for the roadshow. We're going to be going through the East Coast as well. Now let's talk about convention. October 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 2019, we're going to be at the Mirage, and this is going to be a jam-packed event. There's going to be new products, new announcements. We're going to have keynote speakers. You're going to get to meet some of the top leaders. We're going to have an entire awards and recognition ceremony. These are, like I've always said, that the conventions are where the magic happens. These are the most impactful, powerful events. So you can also get a convention ticket by going to www.hempworksevents.com. You can go to the very last event. You'll see the MDC third annual convention. It's only $299 a ticket. You can write it off on taxes, and it'll be an incredible experience. It's absolutely by far the best investment that you can make in your business, coming to convention and promoting it to your organization. So with that said, this concludes our opportunity presentation and our corporate training. We hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. This will be posted. It is recorded. We can't wait to see you guys on the next video at one of the roadshow events or at the convention. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.